Okay, let's do this thingy. Hi internet friends. Today I have been inspired to talk about my story with depression and anxiety. My roommate had a great idea to talk about things that aren't really talked about, and this one is really close to my heart because it's something that a lot of people go through. I've struggled with it since I was a young teenager. I'm a lot better now and I've got over it, but it was part of my life for a really long time, and I just think it's something that I can share, and hopefully I can help some other people that are going through it as well. This isn't going to be a funny video. I think it's going to be an important video, so click away now if you were looking for some sort of entertainment, because this probably won't be it. If you are dealing with any kind of anxiety or depression, I'm going to go over some things that helped me get over it. So yeah, stay tuned. I was always a really anxious kid. My parents used to tell me stories. My whole family would be sitting in a restaurant and I would be too nervous to ask the waitress for ketchup. So I would get my younger sister, or beg my younger sister to ask for me because I did not want to talk to strangers. And I hated talking on the phone to strangers. I was just very afraid of strangers. Yeah, always just a really nervous kid. It wasn't until I was about 11 that I started to feel strange, and this was around the time where my parents got a divorce, and I still remember that day quite clearly, so I think that definitely had a pretty heavy impact on me, as it does on most kids. Obviously I see now that it was for the better and it doesn't bother me much at all anymore. It definitely was something to cope with growing up, and I think that probably played a pretty crucial role. Right after the divorce, there was a lot of changing houses and moving back and forth, and I never actually really felt settled because I was always moving from mom's house to my dad's house, and then one of them would move and then the other one would move, and then it was 2 weeks here and 1 week there, and then 2 weeks here and a weekend. It just got out of control. It was really hard to feel grounded. I was living out of a suitcase for most of high school. It never was my parents' intention. It was hard. Obviously, like puberty and this and that and all that stuff, so just a bunch of things. I don't know, I was just a nervous kid, nervous, anxious. When I turned 16, I tried to get my license. Obviously I was really nervous. They told me to go this way, that way, do this thing, pull in here. I did everything perfectly until they asked me to just pull into a regular parking spot between two cars, and I'd never practiced that before because we just thought it would be easy. I ended up scraping the side of this man's Jeep, and I was mortified. Since that moment on, I had this crazy negative anxiety driven connotation with driving anywhere, and I would get crazy anxiety attacks when I drove anywhere, and this went on for until probably, well, still I don't drive much because I don't have a car here, but for a couple years after that it was really hard to calm down when I was driving, and I never really wanted to drive anywhere, especially in Calgary in the winter with all the snow and the ice. And yeah, I think my darkest couple years were probably grade 10, 11 maybe. I never hurt myself, but I got pretty close. Family, if you're watching this, I don't think I've really told many people this, but it's on the internet now. Hopefully it will help people. I almost cut myself. I had the knife in my hand, and I'm so glad I didn't. I remember everything just felt really gray and was really numb, and the things that made me happy, like hanging with friends and art and playing guitar, just nothing I did made me feel happy like it used to. I just felt confused and frustrated that I couldn't feel happy, and it got to a point where I didn't even want to feel happy because me liked feeling depressed, which is really messed up because I hated being depressed, but I didn't have the motivation to do the things that in hindsight would have made me probably quite a lot happier. That's my story for the most part in a nutshell. I've always been anxious. I've always got really anxious in social situations, with a lot of people. Even still, if there are a lot of people in the room, I get quiet, but it's not an anxious thing anymore. It's just kind of a habit that I've obtained from years of being anxious. So I just like to sit back and listen now. which doesn't bother me at all as long as people know that I'm okay. I just like to listen and learn and see what other people have to say. I digress. I remember one time I was so upset with myself and so down that I ended up closing my door, locking my door, and sitting in a corner with a stuffed animal and just rocking back and forth for about an hour crying. And yeah. But I am very glad to say that I am no longer depressed, and although I am still a very anxious person, I wouldn't say I suffer from anxiety anymore. Really tough part of people's lives, and sometimes it sticks around for a really long time, but I promise it does get better. So I would love to talk about the things I did to help my depression and anxiety, and hopefully you guys can take something from it, even if you're not suffering from depression or anxiety. It's just good. There's things you can do to just turn a day around even. I don't have anything scripted, so I'm just going to talk about the things that come to me that I remember because those are going to be the things that stuck to me the most. The very, very first thing, and arguably the most important thing, is staying busy. My parents and all of my friends can attest to this. When I'm not doing something, I am so down. I'm not depressed anymore, but I just get really down on myself. This was a big thing when I was going through depression and anxiety because it was some vicious circle. I wouldn't want to do something, and then me not doing something would cause me to have major anxiety that I wasn't doing something, and then I would get depressed that I wasn't doing something, and it just went around and around and around and around. Even if it's something small, anything at all, if it's going for a walk, it could be traveling. I know I was really down on myself in December 2014, January 2015, and I just kind of listened to that and didn't freak out too much and took the semester off of school knowing that in the mindset that I was in, I wouldn't be able to perform to my best ability, and I went to Hawaii. It's just sometimes that stuff's worth it. Like, just do something. It does not have to be that big by any means. Paint a picture or learn a new hobby or go to a concert or redecorate your room. I don't know, whatever comes to you, even if you don't really want to do it, whatever pops into your mind, just do it and you'll feel better. And to go along with this, make lists. I have a list right now. I use them all the time. This is my list for today. Laundry, video, shower. I put down have a shower, like I was not gonna have a shower. Well, sometimes I don't shower. Just write stuff down that you want to get done that day. Even if they're stupid things like make breakfast or have a shower or fluff cushions, like any little thing. It feels so good and you feel so much more accomplished and fulfilled when you are able to cross stuff off. And one of the YouTubers I watch who is quite famous, her name's Lily Singh, aka Superwoman. She'll write a to-do list and then a done list. So not only does she check things off on one list, she has a whole list of things that she has done that day. So it makes her feel really accomplished at the end of the day to be able to look at that list and say, oh, I did all of this. So that's something that will really help you. If you don't have time to overthink your situation and to feel sorry for yourself, you won't feel sorry for yourself, chances are. It's nice to keep yourself busy, to keep your mind busy. I found it very helpful to meditate, and I know this is something that people say and you're like, oh, I don't want to meditate. I was like that and I still am like that. It takes a lot of oomph to get me to meditate sometimes, but it doesn't have to be your sit down meditating kind of meditate. Go for a walk, you can be on the bus, like it's just being mindful, taking even 2 minutes, 120 seconds out of your day to just sit there, close your eyes or don't, go from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet and just really listen to what your body feels like, what your body is kind of saying to you. It just calms you down, puts things in perspective. You don't have to make your mind go blank, just be aware of all the thoughts that are going through it. Don't stop thoughts from coming through, just be aware that they are coming through. Accept that, I guess. And an app that can help you with that is called Headspace. And I'm not getting paid to say this, I just really like it. The third thing that really helps me, and I still do this all the time, is to smile. Even if you're not happy, if you smile, if you fake a smile when you're not happy, it sends similar, if not the same, signals to your brain telling you that you're happy. So even if you're not happy, if you smile, a lot of the time, for me at least, I become more happy. I'll be working in customer service and I put on that customer service face, the cheerful, like pleasant, helpful, bubbly person. Even if I wasn't happy before, putting on that persona makes me happy without even realizing it, because I have to be. And it's a big fake it till you make it ordeal most of the time. Oh, my laundry's done. A big thing for me, especially when I was in Calgary, is I didn't find a sense of community there, and I feel like if I kind of put myself out there more, I would have done that. Meet friends, see people, and talk about it. There's a lot of stigma around mental health, but a lot of people have mental health issues or suffer from depression, and it's just not talked about. Like, people don't think it's a real disease, but it is. It's very much a real disease. Just because you can't see it or feel it or look at it doesn't mean that it's not real. It bugs me that it's such a freaking issue in society to talk about that, and I'm really hoping this video will be that little tiny step further, like murdering this stigma, because it shouldn't be a stigma. It's just a thing that people go through. Yeah, it's a big deal, but it's not dramatic. It's just a thing. It's, for a lot of people, just a part of growing up or a part of life sometimes. Like, it's just a bump in the road. It shouldn't be that hard to talk about. And I have been and will be making a big effort to not give it that drama and stigma that people have really attached to it. You don't have an outlet, and having outlets is very, very, very important when you're going through this stuff. Get an outlet to speak freely and cry if you want to cry. I talk about my past with being depressed with random strangers. It just comes up in conversation, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I used to have depression. You get over it, and you will get over it. So please be safe and talk to people and get help and trust in yourself. If you ever need anybody to talk to, I will be here. My information is like around this area, and you can message me whenever you'd like. I will get back to you. I will talk to you. I will do my best. I am by no means a professional at all in this situation. I just have personal experience. And sometimes it's nice to not have to talk to people that you know, really. I love you guys, and I'm sorry this wasn't a entertaining video, but it's something that's been on my mind. Just know that it does get better, and I know people say that all the time, and you're like, oh, what if it doesn't get better for me? It will get better. Please just trust that it will, and don't give up. Try out some of the things that I talked about, and just let somebody know, because if people know, then they can do their part. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back soon with another more entertaining video, but for now, I'm going to leave you with that. Subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Stay safe.